Greetings to you. Just a very quick video, this one. I don't often go into political ideology. It's a very deep subject, a very broad subject, and I don't think it's particularly helpful the way things are at the moment. But I do think there was something that needs explaining just very briefly, and I did an article some years ago for Going Postal magazine, and it's still on my website should anybody wanted to check it out. It's about 5 or 6 years old now. It's on the concept of fascism. Now, fascism is a word which is shouted by students at universities and political activists, generally speaking, with very limited intellects or knowledge of history. Let me just explain what fascism is. And you may like it or you may not like it. It is a political ideology, and it's basically the state regards the individual as not being at the top of the pile. The state believes the state is at the top of the pile and everybody else really should kowtow to that. And it was a concept really invented by Mussolini in the 1920s in Italy. And that was fascism, and it's a collusion between politicians because it's a very pragmatic ideology. It's a collusion between big business and the banks, with leaving the individual nowhere at all, just to do what they say and to be crushed by a very severe regime. And the first thing, of course, they do is get rid of free speech, and they have a secret police or a politicized police force. So that's the situation. Now, when we see Bill Gates and BlackRock and Vanguard and all these other people coming in and out of number 10 Downing Street, we know, do we not, that is big business coming in and out. We know that these people are big business. They're global now, bigger than they ever were before. These companies have a global footprint, which is absolutely enormous, and banks. And of course, in the main banks and central banks call the shots, particularly in the West. So you have your Goldman Sachs and your JP Morgan, so on and so forth, which control all sorts of things from the price of silver to interest rates. They run the show. So every 5 years or so, every 4 or 5 years, we get an opportunity to vote either red or blue, but they all the same. They're all exactly the same. And that's now being proved even more. So even the so-called Reform Party, which is supposed to be a radical new idea on the block, has an ex-Goldman Sachs chairman. And in fact, I think he owns now 50% of Reform. And we know that Sunak was ex-Goldman Sachs, etc., etc., etc. So just bear in mind, when they're shouting fascist or students are shouting fascist, so on and so forth, understand what fascism actually is. And it's what we've got. And it's been going on for some years. The European Union is exactly the same. It's inherently fascist in its structure. It's about big business and about unelected commissioners, so on and so forth. I'm not saying it's a good system or a bad system or indifferent system. I'm not interested in that. It's pure ideology and I don't take much interest in it. But for goodness sake, know what it is. And it's what you're living under now in the United Kingdom. So wakey, wakey. As most of you know, my work is very heavily independently research-based. And I get my information from all over the world. It would help if you press the subscribe button and the little bell next to it, because the more subscribers I have, the more likely it is that international independent research institutes will share their material with me. It's most helpful, and then of course I automatically share it with you. So surprise, won't cost you anything. Thank you very much.